The Tao of Self-Confidence, Episode 120. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women finding their inner journey to self-confidence 5 days a week. Visit our blog at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Well, hello friend. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yap Chan. And today I have a special lady on today. She is a best-selling author, and she is also a wellness coach. And, I'm really excited to have her on and share her story. And without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Parul Agrawal. Parul, how are you today? Maybe you can fill in a little bit more about yourself to our listeners.
Hi, Sheena. I'm doing really awesome. And thank you so much for inviting me to your show. So as you said, I'm an international best-selling author of my book, Juicing for Healthier Families. And I also write for Huffington Post. And I am a wellness coach and entrepreneur. And my whole mission is to educate, inspire, motivate individuals and families to eat clean and live healthy. My educational background was actually into engineering, but my passion always was in the field of nutrition and wellness. And therefore, 7 years back, I took a detour in my career and changed from being a corporate person to a wellness person.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you're able to follow your passion and be able to become a success at it. So congratulations to that. I know there's so many people out there who want to do the things they want to do, but are scared. And, it's great to see someone like you who went from engineering to the health industry. And I love, I always believe clean eating is a great way to live the healthy lifestyle. So thanks for sharing that. And, what's your cultural background?
So basically, as you would have realized from my accent, I am originally from India, and I moved to US in 2004 after I got married to my husband. So I'm from a Hindu religious family back in India, and according to the custom most prevalent in the family during, almost a decade back, I had an arranged marriage with my husband. That is a little bit about my cultural background.
Well, thanks for sharing that. And, Parul, what would be your favorite self-confidence quote?
My favorite self-confidence quote is by Thich Nhat Hanh, and it's about being beautiful. I believe to be beautiful means to be yourself. You don't need to be accepted by others. You need to accept yourself. And this quote has honestly helped me and improved my self-confidence. And I always, go back to this quote if I ever waver in my own personal confidence.
I love it because, a lot of people think they have to be somebody else to be beautiful when, they already are beautiful and if they're just their authentic self, that beauty will come out. So, I really love that quote you mentioned. And in your own words, how would you define self-confidence?
As you just pointed it out rightly, we don't really need to look out at outside sources, to gain the confidence or to feel self-confident. It's all inside you. You really don't need the approval of a third person. If you believe in yourself and if you're authentic and if you are being natural, the confidence will automatically show in your behavior, in your body language, in the way you speak, the way you talk, the way you feel. So I believe, just being yourself, being that unique creation of God is a big definition of self-confidence for me, because each and every person is unique and you cannot compare yourself with the second person or the third person out there on the street.
Well, thanks for sharing that. I agree too. I mean, we're all created differently. We all have different strengths and weaknesses. And, I know there's like 7 billion people in this world, but we all have something to offer, right? And
absolutely.
And if we just go out there and just do the things that we love and show people what we're capable of, I mean, that's what confidence is, even if we're scared, right? Because everyone gets scared. It's just feeling the fear and doing it anyway. So thanks for that great definition. And, what was your life like before your discovery of self-confidence?
I would say, obviously, before my discovery of self-confidence, I was really not confident and I was a very shy person. I was living in a cocoon. I had difficulty, I was on the borderline of introvert and extrovert, I would say. So in some cases, I'm really out there and outgoing and extrovert. But in other cases, for example, if somebody asks me to dance on the floor, I have two left feet, I just cannot dance. And then I would, hide behind the stage because no, I'm not really going out there and dancing and making a fool of myself. So I was always worried, concerned what the other person would think about me, and, possibly just hiding, hiding from the truth, hiding to face the reality.
So what was that moment in your life when you realized, you didn't always have to, hide, right? You can go out there and be who you are and do the things that you love. What was that aha moment in your life?
So this goes back to actually when I was in my engineering school, and I, always relied back on my studies because I was like an A student in school, and I always would participate in elocution competitions, debate competitions, and stuff like that. And that would actually give me some self-confidence. And when I was studying in my engineering program in my first year of engineering, I failed, miserably in almost all my subjects. And I'm assuming, because I went to a different state to pursue my engineering degree, I was staying away from the home for my very first time. So it was a lot of change for me. And that just meant that, I failed miserably because I was not able to focus on studies. And that was the moment that my self-confidence was almost negative, not even zero, because, one thing that I always relied on was my education, my studies, which I was good at. And now I had miserably failed at it, right? So I was really scared to, once I heard my results and I figured out, oh my God, I had failed. I was extremely, extremely scared to step into my college, step into my institute, go out there and face my fellow students or my fellow classmates and stuff like that. I thought, I will be the mock of the town. Everybody would laugh at me. And it was very difficult for me to go out there and face people. But I still had to because I was still in the program. So I still had to go there. So I went there the next day as I would. It took me a lot of courage to actually go out there and study and, be a student in my class. But then when I went there, everybody seemed to be normal. They were still the same as they were the previous day. They had not changed. Their attitude had not changed towards me. They were still talking to me as they were talking to me before my results arrived. And then I thought, it really doesn't matter because my failures and my success do not define me. What defines me is the kind of person I am internally and the kind of people I have in my life. And people who love me will love me irrespective of my success and failures. That was possibly the aha moment for me in my life. And I thought, these failures do not dictate my life, and I can always get up and prove myself and gain my confidence back, because all these other people had confidence in me. It was just that my own confidence in myself had shattered. And that was possibly, I would say, a wake-up call for me during that phase of my life when people who were talking to me were still talking to me the way, and I was still alive, basically.
I love it. And I know, society paints failure as like the worst thing in the world. Like it's the end of the world, right? And a lot of people have to realize that failure is a part of success and it's not the opposite of success. So, every major successful entrepreneur or artist or actor, they all went through these failures because it made them stronger, and they are successful today because of their failures. And, like you said, we're not defined by our failures or our success. We're defined by who we are, what we, believe in, being our authentic self. And that's what matters the most. So, I really love that you mentioned that. And what's your life like now after that discovery?
I'm way more confident, obviously. And before that, now I live my life by the principle that fail is just first attempt in learning. It's not really the end of life, but it's just the end of a learning. And there are so many more attempts that you could actually make to make yourself a success. And definitely, now I don't define my happiness with a particular result. For example, if I do not get a particular job, when I was working, I was obviously hunting for jobs. And sometimes, jobs do not work out the way you want them to be. If you might think that's your dream job, but you might not end up getting it. And I realized that, those jobs were not really important. Everything is orchestrated by a divine power, and we just have to have faith in our abilities and confidence in what we do. And even if, something seems impossible at one point in life, it could be definitely possible. Or even if, something amazing might come up from that failure, and another opportunity, another success might come up. And after that, definitely my life changed in the sense that I'm more confident. I'm now more open to people. I don't feel that I should hide anything from anybody. And I'm always my authentic self. I'm not trying to please anybody really very hard. If people like me, they like me for what I am. And if they do not like me, honestly speaking, I try to figure out a way to make them like me. But at the end of the day, maybe it was not supposed to work. So just be your authentic self. That is what I think has changed for me since my discovery of self-confidence.
Well, thanks for sharing that. And I love that you said that, you live by the principle of FAIL, which means first attempt in learning. And I really love that acronym. I think it's a great principle to live by because, like I said, right, we treat failures like it's the end of the world, right? When it's just the beginning, right? I always believe when one door closes, another one opens, right? And things have to happen for a reason. Sometimes, whoever you believe in might direct you, might not look like they're directing you in the right direction, but really they are. Right. So, I really love that, I really love that you mentioned that principle that you live by. And, if our listeners, they're listening to your episode, they're also in their own journey to self-confidence, what would be that one tip you would give to them?
I would, coming from my cultural background, I said, originally I'm from India, and sometimes, there's a particular definition of beauty in certain countries. And in my country, it's mostly like, this person who is lean, who is beautiful, who is fair, who has a certain height. And I do not fit any of those criterias or parameters. If you look at me, I'm barely 5 feet tall. I am trying to live a healthy lifestyle because of my wellness coaching and stuff. But I was never, considered lean. I was always, considered a fat kid. And obviously, I was not considered beautiful. So, the one thing that I have realized in my journey is that my looks and my outside appearance does not really matter. What matters is how I am inside. And each and every person is unique, has their own passion, has their own skills, and just, follow those own skills. And specifically for women, I would like to say something, do not try to find your self-confidence in the other person. Find it in yourself, because do not think that, if I'll be a certain weight or a certain size, I will be more confident. Or if I have that boyfriend, or if I have that, particular person in my life, I will be more confident. No, these are all outward influences. They will not make you happy and they will not increase your confidence. It's just you who has to find your deeper meaning of life and your inner passion, which will make you more confident.
I love that. Thanks for sharing that. And it's true. Confidence is inside of us. And, those outside forces, they may give us that confidence that we think we're looking for, but it's also temporary, right? We need something that's more meaningful and, like you said, deeper, so that we can always, get it when we have days where we just don't feel like it, right? It just comes to us like clockwork. So thanks for sharing that. And Parul, if our listeners want to get to know a little bit more about you and what you do, is there any links or social media profiles we can connect with?
My website is parulagrawal.com. That's my first name, last name.com. And I'm on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn by the name of Author Parul. That's A-U, Author Parul, P-A-R-U-L.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And to our listeners, if you want to connect with Parul, just head on over to the taoofselfconfidence.com and search for Parul's name. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else we talked about. And I just want to thank Parul for taking the time to share her journey and story with us. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Sheena, for giving me this opportunity to share my story. And I hope it inspires some people out there, specifically women.
Not a problem. It was great having you on, and I'm sure our listeners loved your story. So For our listeners, be on the lookout for another new episode of another amazing woman's journey to self-confidence, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Thank you for joining us on the Tao of Self-Confidence. Visit thetaoofselfconfidence.com for links to everything we chatted about today, as well as killer resources, gifts, and so much more. Start your inner journey to self-confidence today.